Hi everyone. So it is what is this? It's week 15. Week 15 pregnancy vlog update. Okay, so where to start? 15 weeks or 5 weeks away from that lovely ultrasound where we get to see our baby, and for us, seeing the baby for the first time. So I'm still feeling movement on a fairly regular basis, which is really nice. It means that I'm not so worried about whether or not there's anything in there anymore. What have I got? The size of the baby this week is about the size of an apple. So about 4 inches long and 2.5 ounces. 2.5 ounces sounds really light, but the baby has no fat on it yet. It's still pretty skinny. It's still pretty much cartilage and things like that. So there's not a whole lot of weight to it, but that's going to start coming really quickly. My current weight is 124.6 pounds, so I am up exactly 2 pounds now. So at 15 weeks, I'm up exactly 2 pounds. So that's not too bad. I don't mind that. Still got a long ways to go, so there's still a lot of time for some weight gain. The movement that I'm feeling, I don't feel like pressure movements or anything. I feel like poking, like it's a foot or a hand or something is just pushing against my inside. To me, it feels very much like a muscle twitch because I don't have control over it. The only difference between a muscle twitch and this is a muscle twitch tends to happen in the exact same spot over and over and over again, whereas this happens in slightly different spots every time. My pubic bone, my pubic symphysis still hurts. In fact, it's hurting a little bit more this week, so when I go in for my midwife appointment next week, I will bring that up with her. We might try the supplements first before going with a belly band or anything like that. I feel so out of breath. I just put my daughter down for a nap, so it's not like I was doing anything physical. Nursing update. I'm still nursing my daughter. There's no milk there. She might be getting a little bit of colostrum, but it's still something that's incredibly important to her and doesn't bother me. My nipples seem to go in this 3 or 4 days where it feels like she's ripping them off, to 3 or 4 days where it doesn't bother me at all. Now that she is 2, or almost 2, I'm trying to retrain her to open really wide when going to nurse instead of just sucking on my nipple like a straw, which is kind of a bad habit that she's come to over the last little while. So I'm trying to break her of that and get her to open wide before putting my nipple in her mouth. I still don't have any plans on weaning her. She is showing signs of wanting to try and go to sleep without nursing. She did it the other night where she woke up and I went in there and her pillow had fallen off her bed and her blanket was falling off her bed, so I put her pillow back on, I put her blanket back over her. She didn't ask to nurse or anything like that. She just tried to go back to sleep. And she tried and she tried and she tossed and she turned, and then she started whimpering and she tossed and she turned. And so I offered, I said, "Do you want to nurse?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I ended up nursing her. And that night, nursing didn't put her to sleep either. She was awake for 3 hours. Or almost 3 hours. It was lovely. So, still nursing her. No plans on stopping. So out of breath. And we're just going to kind of continue on. Oh, my phone is ringing. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I don't know who that is. That is a different area code that I have never seen before. It's from Ontario. So I'm not going to answer it. They can leave a message if it's someone important. What else? Blood work. So I went last week for my second set of genetic screening as well as to recheck my thyroid. And I have something called eHealth, or there's a website called eHealth where I have access to a lot of my blood work results where I can look at them. And I can already see that my thyroid is back up into the normal range. So I don't know why it was so low last time I had blood work done a few weeks ago. Excuse me, but it is fully back up into the normal range. So when I see my midwife, I'm sure they will, or she will say next time that it's fine, nothing to be concerned about. I don't know the results of the genetic screening because that isn't something that's displayed on my eHealth. It is something that I have to go in for because the results are sent to the physician and they are the ones who get it. And it's probably a little early because the midwife is saying it takes generally 5 to 7 days for them to get the results, or up to 10 days to get the results, because they have to send off the blood work, and then they get the results from the blood work, and then they have to do their analysis of the two sets of genetic blood work done, and see what the number that comes up with, to see if we have what chance we have of Down syndrome, trisomy 13 and trisomy 18. I also just had a booster juice, so I feel very full right now, which is probably going to make my belly shot a little bit skewed this week. I'm definitely growing this week, definitely feeling larger. Feel sometimes like I'm growing by the hour, because I just feel like I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and regardless of how much I try to suck it in, I just can't anymore. Other than that, I've got no other symptoms that are not TMI. I have no aversions, I have no sickness, I have no headaches. I do get the occasional round ligament pain, which is considered completely normal because my uterus is growing at a very rapid rate right now. I expect it to be a lot larger than I am right now, and I don't have those pictures on this computer. I will get my picture from 15 weeks, and I will sorry, my phone is going nuts today. Normally it doesn't go nuts at all. Where was I? I'm going to insert a picture of what I looked like when I was pregnant with my daughter at 15 weeks and what I look like now at 15 weeks. There is definitely a little bit of a difference, but everything says that you are bigger and you show faster with your second. I'm not that much bigger than I was when I was pregnant with her at this point. I'm maybe a week ahead, showing a week ahead, so I don't know. So I will do a quick belly shot, and then I'll get into the TMI, so that if you are family, friends, someone who doesn't want to hear about TMI stuff, too much information, then you don't have to watch any further, and you still get your belly shot and everything like that. So I have a new cat litter container to stand on, so hopefully you can see. And I'm wearing, it's not truly a maternity shirt. Ooh. Close the lid. It's not truly a maternity shirt. Let's fix this light so that this light is kind of shining a little more down at me. But it definitely promotes the look of the bump. So that's with the shirt on. And this side too. And then with the shirt up. So shirt up. Definitely starting to get something if I completely relax and slouch. There's definitely something there, but when I actually stand up straight and use my core for standing up, it's a lot smaller. But there's definitely something there. Slowly but surely. So I will do this picture. I'll do a screenshot of this, and I will do a screenshot of what I looked like when I was pregnant with my daughter, and you can see the difference. So for those of you that are leaving, I'll talk to you guys later. See you next week for week 16. Can't believe it's getting so far along. For those of you that are sticking around, a little bit of TMI kind of information. So, what have I got? I didn't have issues with hemorrhoids and things like that when I was pregnant with my daughter. I did end up with a couple during delivery, and was told, don't worry about it, they'll go away. They weren't painful or anything like that. And really 2 years later, I still have them. They're still there. They're not painful, they're just there. They don't really bother me much at all. The problem with them now is my diet is not as good, and there's not as much fiber and fluids in my diet as I should be taking in, so things sometimes are a little more difficult, and they seem to be causing me more issues now. I don't know if I'm getting more. I hope not. I really don't want to deal with hemorrhoids, but that might be something that is in my not too distant future. Unfortunately, I'm going to talk to the midwives about it next time I go in and see what I can do about it, short of taking in lots of fluids, eating lots of fiber, see if there's anything I can do about dealing with the two that are there, the two little ones that are there, and maybe preventing the other ones, although really drinking more fluids, eating more fiber, those things are going to be what help prevent them. So that's something that I'm not looking forward to. I don't like doing poopy talks with the midwives. Just like I didn't want to know whether or not I pooped during delivery with my daughter, but thankfully I didn't. I had a water birth, so it's kind of easy to tell. I did not poop in the water. My daughter did after she came out when my husband was holding her, but I did not, which was kind of nice. But on that note, I emptied myself prior to delivery, like when my contractions were still further apart, and I woke up that morning and I went pee, and an hour later I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I went, and I'm pretty sure I emptied myself pretty good. I think the hormones just kind of took over. And cervical mucus, CM, I feel like there's a lot, and it's creamy. I end up wearing a panty liner for it. There's usually quite a bit, particularly after I've had a bowel movement, because I am pushing, and that seems to just push more out. It's not pleasant. It's not fun. I don't like it. But such is life, being pregnant. I think that's all I actually had that was TMI. Yeah, I think so. There wasn't much. And I'll probably do my videos like this, where I do my videos, my belly shot, and then I'll get into TMI for those that don't want to watch / don't want to listen, but still want to see the progression of my belly. I don't know, I'm so out of breath. My iron was, like I said before, kind of low, but not even low enough that they wanted to retest it this past time, so that could be a little bit why I'm out of breath. Although we had some good, well, my husband had a really good juicy steak the other night. I had a really good, slightly dried out tough steak because it had to be well done, unfortunately, but so I ate steak for a few days and been much better about taking my prenatal vitamin with juice instead of milk, or water instead of milk. Sleep is okay. My daughter's actually sleeping really good lately. Generally, she is not waking up until 5 or 6 in the morning. And even at that point, I just bring her to bed and she nurses, goes back to sleep, and she sleeps until 9:30 or 10. So it's worked out really well. So the other night when she was up from 2:20 until 5 o'clock in the morning, I was awake the whole time in there with her because I can't leave the room or else she'll cry. But I felt fine. I wasn't falling asleep in her room or anything. And the next day I was fine. I was functional. I wasn't overtired or anything like that. Just kind of continued on with the day. So it's really nice that I'm getting full night's sleep. And if I restrict my fluids, like right now it's 10 to 4 in the afternoon. So I will be restricting my fluids from now on. I just had a really big booster juice, so I went pee before putting her down for a nap. I went pee as soon as I came out of her room from putting her down for a nap, and I already feel like I have to go pee again. But I'm not going to drink a bunch of fluids tonight because that's just going to make me have to get up and pee. This morning, lately I'm not waking up to pee, generally. I'll go pee if I wake up with my daughter. And this morning she woke up at like 5 or 5:30. I'm like, it's too late in the morning to nurse her back down and keep her in her own bed because she'll wake up when my husband gets up and feeds the animals. But I really had to go pee, so I didn't want to take her to our bed, nurse her, because she nurses for a long time before falling asleep generally. Or she's latched on for a long time before I can unlatch her. So I just picked her up out of her bed. She koala'd me, and I went in the bathroom, went pee, and then went to bed with her, and she went back to sleep until 9:30. And now I'm tired because I'm talking about sleep. So I will talk to you guys later. I will insert those pictures. Don't forget to comment, rate the videos, subscribe if you want to keep getting them. I am thinking that once I hit the 40 weeks and the 9 months and I delivered, I kind of want to actually get a really big memory card for my camera. I just don't know how big I can get because I'd like to film. We plan on having a birth photographer if she can get here soon enough because my first labor was quick, so we'd like to have a birth photographer. And I kind of want to set up my camera just kind of in the background. We plan on having a water birth, so fruit seeds. So we'll know where we're going to be in the house for the bulk of the labor, and I'd like to just kind of have the camera running in the background. So I'm going to look into finding memory cards that are larger, making sure my batteries are charged closer to that time. I think that's all I've got for you guys. I will talk to you next week for week 16. I can't believe it. It's coming so fast. Talk to you later. Bye.